maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a Shia Sheikh told me this, but maybe he was incorrect. I don't dismiss that possibility. However, if he was correct, my question is based on that. So, our seventh blessed Imam, Imam Al Qadim alayhi salam, he had some representatives, some naibin, who had essentially mishandled with the Khums money and created their own sect called the
Wakifite.
Wakifites,
Yeah,
and they denied Imam Rida alayhi salam. Is that correct?
that's correct. So they basically
Okay.
claim that
So
the seventh
my
Imam is the Mahdi, and he has disappeared and he has not died.
Mm,
That's what they claimed. So
mm,
so
yeah,
that way
yeah.
they did not have to recognize Imam Rida alayhi salam, and they did not have to hand over whatever wealth, money they were holding from the seventh Imam alayhi salam.
Okay, okay. So my question is kind of, because I mean it's not like a personal question, but it's like something which I know that a few brothers that were present with me when the Shia Sheikh said that, they like had that question. It essentially was, of course, we know that these Maraja, they're not representatives. This is, they can say whatever they want. Their followers can say whatever
Mhm.
they want. They're no representatives. That's one of the major things about Ghaibatul Kubra, that there is no such, like, representative.
Yeah.
Anyways, but they had asked that, doesn't the authority and doesn't like the credibility of representatives become undermined if some representatives of Imam al-Qadim alayhi salam did do something like this? So doesn't that undermine like representatives like before
So it was
of
from the
Imam
time of the
al-Asr alayhi
Prophet
salam?
sallallahu alaihi wasallam, from the time of the Imam Ali alayhi salam, that if they appointed a deputy to some task, sometimes they would make mistakes, sometimes they would betray. There is no principle in
Mhm.
Quran or Sunnah that a common person who is trusted by Imam alayhi salam or given a task by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that he is not going to mishandle that matter, or that he is not going to become even an apostate. So they themselves, the Umaris, they have this guy Ibn Sarh, who was a writer of Wahi, Katib al-Wahi, who became an apostate, who became a murtad, and he went to Mecca and he said, "Oh, the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to dictate to me this verse, and I used to say, should I write something else?" And he said, "Okay, write it that way." And so he said that, oh, so that I realized that he's not a prophet because I would make up verses and I'd tell him, should I write this? And he would say, okay, go ahead and write it down. And and so
Mhm.
and then that person has quite a history. So there were verses of the Quran revealed about him. Uh, s- People betray the prophets, the Imams alayhi salam, all the time. Hazrat Isa ibn Maryam
All
alayhi
right.
salam, his Hawariyin decided to betray him.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mm.
and even to murder him. That's that's
Yeah.
happened before.
Nabi Yusuf alayhi salam's brothers dumped him in a
Brothers
well.
of, yeah,
Uh,
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah. Okay,
Sold, and
Sheikh.
not
So,
only
all
dumped him,
right.
well,
Yeah, that's a very good answer.
then they sold him. They brought him out and they sold him into slavery. And they said, keep quiet. If you say you are our
Yeah.
brother, we're going to beat you up and kill you. So keep quiet. And they forced him to stay quiet, and they sold him into slavery. And then they went back to their father and said, oh, a wolf came and ate our brother. And his father was crying for like 70, 80 years. Old man for you. And they never
Yeah.
told him the
Yeah.
truth. Never felt sorry to at least
Yeah.
tell him the truth that our brother is alive. So until the end, until the end, they were lying to their father. Yes, brother, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I mean that just highlights that, some people, I think that's an eye of the Quran, even that like they distinguish the light of the Lord, but the
Yeah.
light of the Lord always like remains true. So, there
Mhm.
were some people, they try to create some false Imam, lie about Imam al-Qadim alayhi salam, but that we don't have any Waqifites today. It's all Ithna
Mhm.
Asharis. So, anyways, so my other question, sir, was it's a bit of a completely different topic. I actually asked it a few weeks ago, but I think perhaps you got busy. I asked it on TikTok. It was that so. It's a bit of a specific question. It's because it happened to me myself. So I was wondering that, do I make up this prayer in Qada or do I not? I was praying, and I was fully convinced that the direction I was praying was the Qibla, was the Kaaba.
Yeah, yeah. If you
What?
mispray in the wrong direction, if there's still time, there are many ahadiths to that effect. So if I
Mm,
pray other direction other than qibla, if there is still time remaining, then I have to make qada. But if the time is gone, that's it. There's no qada.
No, because actually what happened is that it's a bit more specific than that. So like I was like on my second rakat and it
Oh,
was like a
if you
Maghrib
realize the
and
hadith, specifically
yeah,
if you during the salat you realize that you are not
yeah.
towards qibla, so there are two ways, okay, two possibilities. One is that you
Mm,
are a little bit missing the qibla. The qibla is between your two
mm,
hands. So I'm going to open my arms like this. So it's between two
yeah.
hands. So I'm this way and qibla is here. So I just simply
Mm,
turn and I continue my prayers. That's fine. But if
okay.
my back was towards qibla, my behind was
Yeah.
towards qibla, then I break, then I end my prayer right there and I start anew, fresh.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the hadith.
So
Imam
so
Mahdi
then
right now
so
some coffee.
so for me it was like the complete other direction. So I do qada on that prayer.
So no, so you found out later, right after prayers,
Yes.
or
No, the
during your
thing is that
prayers.
actually
Oh, you
I was in
found
my
out.
second
Oh
rakat
no,
and
no. Now then
somebody
you have to
came
do
up to
qaza.
me.
Yeah, you have to do qaza. But yeah, if you have to do,
Okay, okay.
during the prayers, if you realized and you didn't do it, you should do qaza. But if you didn't realize and later on, one day later, you found out, then there's no qaza.
Okay, okay, okay. Sir, and then one last sort of question I had was actually about,
But this
so
is
I
not about
know,
time,
of course,
okay?
I've even,
So this is only about qibla. About time, that's not the case. So if Fajr is not arrived,
okay.
and I think Fajr is arrived, and I pray Fajr,
Mm,
and later on, I prayed Fajr half an hour early than its time, or Dhuhr, or Maghrib, or Isha, then in those cases, of course, I have to make qaza. So with respect to qibla, if you find out you have prayed to the wrong direction after the time has passed away, then you don't have to repeat it.
mm,
But with respect to the time, if you
mm.
prayed in the wrong time, before time, then you have to redo it. Yes, sir. Go ahead.